What's up, guys? So today is September 26th, and to date, the case is still going on. As many of you know, there is bad weather. It's a lot of rain, and just listening to this rain remind me of the story of Noah's Ark. And Noah received this download, and he was building the ark as we know it, and he kept telling the people, it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain, you guys, it's gonna flood. Because people have never seen this flooding that Noah was sharing with them, they laughed at him, they ignored him, they ridiculed him, only to find out that he was right. Okay? And throughout history, we as a people are following those same characteristics. You're being told, you don't believe, you criticize, you're easily entertained, only to find out that what you were told was correct. In my research, it takes us as a people about 5 to 6 years to catch up to what someone was telling us or warning us about. 5 to 6 years. You have it with Gaddafi, you have it with Michael Jackson, you have it with Malcolm X and Martin Luther. It's like, oh, they were right after all, right? So at what point do we start following our gut instincts, right? Because if you said, I knew he was telling the truth, or I knew that was it, then that's your instincts telling you truth. At what point do we stop doing this cycle that leads us nowhere, right? Okay, so that story basically leads me up to this. In my research again, because we've been, as a community, complaining about the same thing over 400 to 500 years. That's the problem. That's a problem that needs an immediate halt. We're not talking about 5 years. We're not talking about 6 years. We're not talking about 7 years. We're talking about 500 years. Think about that for a minute. We've repeated the same thing 500 years. Yet we call ourselves kings, queens. Yet we call ourselves the originals. Yet we call ourselves the head of Mother Earth. But yet we are the ones with the repeated complaints, the completed grievance of 500 years. It is time to stop for a moment and pay the fuck attention. Now, why that is going on is because we are in a world that follows written laws, not verbal, not oral. They've spent those same 500 years having philosophers say that oral law does not exist. Written law exists. However, we are a community of oral law. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That is a law that we've passed down orally. We all know it, yet we don't know each other. Think about that. So we're in a society that taught the world that oral law does not exist, it has to be written. We also heard the saying, the pen is mightier than the sword, right? Okay, back in the 90s, we used to say, oh, white people just write a letter and they get what they want. Yet we protesting and can't get heard. Think about that. white people write a letter and they get what they want. The pen is mightier than the sword. In that mindset, it made me look at the laws. To understand a cage that you're in, you have to understand the cage that you're in. Okay, so the cage, what we call the cage for these purposes, is the laws, right? These laws are the things that keep order, a civilized society. Now, when you read these laws, our community say, these laws are not for us. These laws are against us. You're correct, okay? And they have not lied. They said the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and these laws with a primary focus to protect the minority against the tyranny of the majority. That means that they have created a system, a cage, to protect them from the majority group. That's why they don't fit for you, because it is not to protect you. However, in that same Bill of Rights and Constitution, it says all men are created equal. That means if you are a person and I am a person, we're created equal. You can too create your own protective laws. In the court case, in District of Columbia, case 124CV00479RC, which I have been expressing to you guys to pay attention to, are those laws that protect the majority against the tyranny of the minority. Each country, each island who are sovereign have done that process. China has its laws, India has its laws, Africa has its laws, America has its laws. Black people, you do not. Injustice is unbalanced because one side has laws, the other does not. And because there's none, then it leaves the parties that be to make their own rendering of what happens to your life. Who's going to stop it? Chinese protect any citizen who on paper says they're Chinese. India protects anybody on paper who says they're Indian. Africa protects anybody who on paper says they're African. But it doesn't say African American. So that is your responsibilities with America. But America is looking at you like you are not the minority, so we don't protect you. That's what's happening. So in that court case, I established a legal framework to start that process. But it only works when the community supports it and follows it, right? And we build on it. But you're focused on P. Diddy, you're focused here, and then when someone is affected, like Mr. Williams, by the minority laws, then you get emotional temporary. Here we are back. What you want? You want another 100 years added to the 500 years, or are we gonna try to do something different this time? I sent over to the departments who handle all the treaties to keep record of the treaties that I have adopted the community. Why? Because the community said they are struggling from mental illness. We're struggling from mental illness. We need grants. We need this. So if you're struggling from mental illness, I cannot expect irrational choices. I get that. However, the ones who are not struggling from mental illness, I need you to the front of the room. I need your attention over here. We have to help them. We can't expect them to do normal stuff if they're struggling from mental illness. That's like trying to get a handicapped person to stand up. It just won't happen until they get the help they need. So the ones who are not struggling from mental illness, I need you up front. We understand they need assistance. We cannot yell at them and fight with them to get them to do something normal. No, they need the help. Cool. All right, in the court case, I've established a settlement offer for 500 quadrillion. With the land, because there's somebody, we don't want their money, we want the land. Cool, we got it. 1.4 trillion population land withdrawal to cover these people. It's going to cover your kids and your kids and your grandkids' kids. Okay? That's covered. But right now, we're talking about right now. All right? So right now, with that 500 quadrillion, since that is the currency of choice, all right, that is going to fund the mental help that they need for the population. But we got to get there first. We're at the point of a default judgment. However, this judge happens to be sitting on it because there's no eyes on it. I brought it to where it needed to be. Okay? Now, in terms of currency, which is the most important thing for majority of people. Why? We got to keep the lights on, this and that, whatever. Okay, cool. If you look at the American dollar, it has the Great Seals on them. There's two. There's the eagle and then there's the pyramid. Now, white America has always stood behind the eagle. That means that we are the ones for the pyramid, but we haven't done our part. They're not saying that we don't exist. They don't realize there's a partnership, but they're saying they're not going to do the work for us. If you claim your seat, you do the work for your seat. What we've been doing was pointing and demanding them to do the work for us. That's not how that works. Many of you be at work not trying to do somebody else's job. The first thing that come out your mouth is, that's not my job. That's not my job. Yet, you expect these other groups to do the work for you. The entitlement is unreal. So, I've dedicated 6 to 7 years of my time. And I don't have to. I can ignore the case. I can complain. I can be partying. I can be doing birthday parties. I could be laying up with my man. I could be doing all kind of stuff. But I do have kids also. And I do have friends who have kids that I care about. So I said, let me figure out what the issue is. Okay. The only way to do this, I would have to run for president because those titles matter. Okay. And here we are with the information, the established legal frameworks to protect the majority against the tyranny of the minority, the established act to protect the community from blatant police murders, the established act to recognize your artwork as high as the Mona Lisa so that you can take those to the bank and get financing. I did the paperwork for the credit union so we can start funding our communities. I did all of that. There's 77 different filings. This case been going on since February. And the type of comments that some of y'all mouths are typing is very disrespectful, and I'm not going to tolerate that at all. You will be deleted, you will be blocked, there will be no more engagement, none of that. Because how dare you fix your mouth to say any of those things and you lay up there and do absolutely nothing for your people other than to say frivolous things. We are not the same at that point. So, again, the people who are not struggling from mental illness, I require your attention at this time. In the District Court of Columbia, there is a case 124 CV 00479 RC that requires your attention. You can also go to stateoflocknation.com where there are free copies. You can Google it, and I believe they're uploaded on archive.org. There's so many different avenues for you guys to read the information and fact check what I'm saying to you. But don't be like those people who drowned because they didn't listen to NOAA's warning about the flood. You feel it. You see it. You know something is happening. It's time for you to really, really, really pay attention. And that's the most I'm going to do about that. You either hear it or you don't. The ones who do, congratulations, let's get it. The ones who don't and you still want to be, I don't know what to tell you, honestly. Because I'm breaking that 500 cycle of ignorance. I'm breaking it. You either come in or you're not. But the information is there. Please do not text me and ask me what my policies are. It's there. If you really care, you'll really go check. Other than that, I'm not repetitively saying these things. Those strong and wrong individuals that got so much to say and have no information to back their statements or sayings, that strength in your voice could be better used on something that's actually happening for your own good. But it's a choice that you have to make. And it's yours to make. But this train right here is moving. It has been moving and continues to move. I am only talking to the people who are ready to stop running their mouth, stop pointing their fingers, and is ready to be accountable. I am talking to the people who is not just trying to jump on for a check. I'm talking to those people. I'm talking to the people who can go the long haul, who don't just show up for a short period of time and then fall off. I'm talking to those people. I'm talking to those people who really care about a future for their kids. I'm talking to those people. It's time to do something different. And if not, I'll just do it by myself. Because it has to happen. So until next time, enjoy the sounds of the rain. Do what you do best. And for those, again, who are interested, the information is there. You will know what you need to do when you read it. And it will make its way. Okay? I'll talk to you next time.